The Bush family famously produced two U.S. presidents, George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. When Barbara Bush, the wife of George H.W. Bush, was once asked which of her sons was more likely to become president, she replied, "I don't know which son is more likely to become president, but I know my daughter-in-law Laura is more like a first lady." During the 2000 U.S. presidential election, George W. Bush was at one point trailing Al Gore. His wife, Laura, campaigned tirelessly across the country, securing numerous votes. At the time, many remarked that if Laura herself were running, her approval rating might surpass her husband's. After winning the election, George W. Bush frankly stated, "I know you support me, but of course, I know you really wanted Laura as First Lady." There's a saying, parents determine your starting point, but your wife often determines your destination. Many factors influence how high a man might fly, but how steadily he walks often depends on the woman standing beside him. In 2016, a famous entrepreneur, let's call him Ethan, faced bankruptcy with his company. After extensive lobbying, a bank finally agreed to grant him a loan, but it required a guarantor. His wife, Sarah, didn't hesitate, rushing to the scene to sign the contract. Even as Ethan faced successive business failures and accumulated debt reaching staggering amounts, equivalent to roughly 600 million yuan, Sarah remained steadfastly by his side. When Ethan, despondent, joked about potentially dying suddenly from the stress, Sarah found a way to bolster his spirits. "If you died, think how many tasks I'd have to do for others to pay back all this money." Later, Ethan successfully cleared his debts through live streaming ventures and embarked on a new entrepreneurial journey. In an interview, he said, "Being able to clear the debt and achieve what I have now, my wife's contribution was indispensable." Warren Buffett once said, "The most important investment of my life wasn't buying any particular stock, but rather choosing who would be my partner." Life is unpredictable. Encountering no difficulties is impossible. A woman willing to be your bedrock acts like an anchor. With her presence, even the fiercest storms won't capsize you. Her support is your shield against hardship, her companionship, your warmest harbor in life. Therefore, a wife is a man's primary trump card, and the most precious one. The second trump card, reputation. In 1835, several middle-aged men partnered to establish a small insurance company in Hartford. It seemed like a good venture, requiring little more than paperwork. However, before they could celebrate for long, a major fire destroyed a client's insured warehouse. Paying the claim in full meant not only the company's bankruptcy, but potentially massive personal debt for the partners. The shareholders panicked, quickly selling off their shares. Only one man, J.P. Morgan, resolutely shouldered the responsibility of paying the claim. He bought out the other shares, raised funds tirelessly, even selling his own house. After the claim was paid, he was penniless. A month later, looking at the nearly defunct company, he worried deeply if this event had ruined their prospects. Surprisingly, customer numbers didn't decrease, they increased. In their eyes, this man's integrity made him more reliable than larger insurance companies. Thus, bolstered by his reputation, the company flourished, becoming the city's largest fire insurer. This young man was the founder of the Morgan financial dynasty. Reputation is a person's invisible reserve fund. Unseen and intangible most of the time, it materializes in various forms when needed. As long as your reputation remains intact, support will continue to find you. Every action in life is like laying a brick in the edifice of your history. If one brick is faulty, when a structure grows tall and pressure mounts, that weak point will fail and the entire building can collapse. In life, reputation is fundamental. What we often call luck or opportunity frequently stems from accumulated credibility. Reputation is a man's second trump card, and the most foundational one. The third trump card, cognitive ability. Conversely, as your level of awareness and cognitive ability increases, allowing you to see further and from a higher vantage point, more development opportunities arise, potentially revealing entirely new worlds. An online personality, let's call him Alex, came from a family selling fried chicken. The chicken recipe was unique, beloved by the local neighborhood. But business was strictly local, barely providing subsistence. At that time, food delivery was just emerging in major cities, but hadn't yet reached smaller towns. Delivery platforms dispatched salespeople, urging businesses to join. Many shop owners resisted this new model. Alex, however, saw the opportunity. He personally contacted a delivery platform and used it to expand his business's reach. He also allowed others to franchise, sharing his recipe and partnering based on capital investment. Thus, while others in town clung to small workshops, his fried chicken business grew significantly. I've always agreed with the saying, every cent you earn is a manifestation of your awareness. Flowers don't bloom for 100 days. Fortunes don't last forever. External supports can fail. Relying on others can be unreliable. But the knowledge in your head is always yours. In today's world, no form of material wealth surpasses a highly developed mind. Cognition is a man's third trump card, and the most reliable one. Life is a cycle of peaks and valleys, times of smooth sailing and, more often, adversity. In prosperous times, you hold many cards: money, status, connections. These can be called assets, but not necessarily trump cards. True trump cards are those resources that remain by your side, available for use, even in adversity and dire straits.